All right, what's going on, everyone? We're doing a little live stream for the World Series Game 4. Rangers and the Diamondbacks. Dylan's going to be jumping on here soon. Adolis Garcia and Max Scherzer scratched from the lineup tonight and for the rest of the World Series. That's going to be huge. First pitch is 8:03. Starting lineup is the Texas Rangers: Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Mitch Garver, Evan Carter, Josh Young, Nate Lowe, Jonah Heim, Tavares, and then Jankowski. And for the Diamondbacks, it's Ketel Marte leading off, Corbin Carroll second, Moreno third, Christian Walken fourth, Tommy Pham, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Alec Thomas, Rivera, and Perdomo. Right now, the series is 2-1 Rangers. It's going to be a big game for the Diamondbacks to see if they can even it up here. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below your thoughts on the series so far. What's going to happen tonight? We'll have a couple buddies jumping on here soon to hang out. Adolis Garcia, the ALCS MVP, is out for the rest of the World Series. So is Max Scherzer, who was pulled from the game last night after leaving with the injury. Two massive blows for the Rangers. Corey Seager so far, I guess you could argue Evan Carter, but Corey Seager has definitely been the MVP so far for the Rangers. He's batting .298 with the 1.093 OPS so far. He had that home run in Game 1, massive 2-run home run in the bottom of the ninth inning to tie up the game. That first game, and then last night hit another home run. That was the difference in the game. That was in like the third inning, something like that. Yeah, Evan Carter's been a stud this postseason so far. He's a rookie. He's batting .333 with over 1,000 OPS. Ketel Marte has been the driving force for the Diamondbacks. .333 batting average, 907 OPS. What's up, Dylan?
What's going on, Connor?
Who do you have tonight?
I'm rooting for the Snakes. I don't think they're going to get it done, but rooting for them.
Turn it down. What were you saying?
I said I'm rooting for the Snakes tonight.
Yeah, that's who I have too. I mean, we'll see how long Heaney goes, if he's on or not.
And he's had quite a few starts this season where he's given up 3-4 in the first.
And then it's Mantiply for the Diamondbacks, so it's a bullpen game.
Bullpen game.
Yeah, Adolis Garcia and Max Scherzer go down for the Rangers.
That's tough. That's a brutal one, especially like Max was hurt. You know, you're hoping the guy could give you 3 innings when he was going out there in this postseason, but just for how Adolis has been Mr. October this year, and that's not just like that's a mental gut check for the team too. You know, not seeing that guy in the locker room and in that starting lineup.
Yeah. I guess the good thing is that I made this graphic. You've got the Cookie Monster over there for the Rangers.
Yeah, you do. Nate Lau is going to have to step up. Where was he in the lineup tonight? I mean, he's been batting 7th. He's probably
Lau's 7.
Lau's still 7. So
no, he's batting 6.
Yeah, so Young and Lau move up 1, or Garver moves up to the 3 hole. I think he'd been hitting 4th or 5th.
Yeah, Garver's 3. We'll see if Simeon can get it going. He's got a 197 batting average, 491 OPS.
It's not like their lineup's still not formidable without him, but
yeah, it's still top 6 for sure. 7.
We're talking Sunday league here. You know, when you go out and play in Portland and your best hitter's not there on the weekend, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, we might not have it today. Sunday league also pitching is a huge thing.
Yeah, I'm more so if you're starting
20
pitcher.
guys.
Yeah, if your arm isn't there, you're like, this might get ugly today.
Yeah. Then D-backs. I mean, they're top to bottom. They're top to bottom solid. We'll see if Christian Walker can do something.
Game has not started yet, correct?
It has not. It's supposed to start right now.
I'm going to get that up on my phone, streaming on my TV. And I've got the stream for us here on the iPad.
Adolis Garcia, 22 RBIs, most in a single postseason. 8 home run, ties the second most ever in a postseason.
I'll be back.
Okay. And then I'll mention this when he gets back, but Nate Eovaldi is pitching tomorrow. And Eovaldi, if he gets a win tomorrow, would be the first pitcher in history to have 5 wins in a postseason. They're showing replays of Corey Seager's home runs from Game 1 and Game 3. Again, he's the Cookie Monster, as David Ortiz was calling him. He's seeing beach balls right now. He's batting .298 with the 1.093 OPS. We'll see if the Diamondbacks can silence Seager. It's like you can't pitch to him at this point. Out of the guys in their lineup, you're pretty much pitching to everyone except Corey Seager now. Adolis Garcia is not in the lineup anymore.
If you're gonna rock the Mariners, I'm gonna rock the Nats.
I said it was Halloween. I identify as a World Series contender also. But yeah, it's like I think they have to completely avoid Corey Seager at this point. It was like Adolis Garcia last series. Corey's just hot.
Yeah, I'd rather face Garver with man on base. Get this darn game up.
Looks like my cable feed is a little behind our online app here, but
there's no way you can get Stream East on this.
I mean, I could. But yeah, that would be ban immediately. Because that'd be copyrighted material.
This is on YouTube right now, correct?
Yeah, this is live everywhere.
Sorry, yeah. I'm looking at StreamYard and I'm like, well, let's just watch it.
It's on Twitch and Twitter also. Pitch one is
Love these Diamondback jerseys tonight. They're rocking their
blacks.
Their black alternates. It's kind of gives you that almost old school look with the new school. You know, they're kind of their retro snake emblem.
They got to go purple tank tops tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd love to see that. If they don't bust out the retros one time.
Yeah, they got to. It's like if the Seahawks make the World Series, they better be wearing those throwbacks.
You mean the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I guess that would be the.
It's been a long day.
I said the World Series.
No, it's that time of year too. You know, where the seasons are changing, and you go into work or you're in public, and people are like, just like, God, can I not get sick right now?
You knocking doors all day?
No, I'm a little under the weather from this past weekend, and I also threw the hell out of my arm on Sunday and couldn't even play the second game of our doubleheader. I'm hurting pretty bad right now.
Marcus Semien grounds out, and then I'll try to stay a little behind, but Corey Seager also flied out to the right fielder.
So it's 3-2 right on Streamies to Semien right now.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
DJ Rayburn. Okay. How bad was Marquez last night? Good Lord. I mean, how are they putting Alfonso Marquez behind the plate? We got David Rackley, Vic Carapazza, Bill Miller, DJ Rayburn, Quinn Walcott, Alfonso Marquez. Those are four names you can recognize umpire-wise: Carapazza, Miller, Rayburn, and Marquez.
Angel Hernandez, nowhere to be seen. He's not in the building.
Well, he's going to sue for it as well.
He's going to what?
He's going to sue the MLB as well because he thinks he should be there.
Yeah, that'll be his second or third lawsuit.
Brother, you're just terrible.
Yeah. What amazes me is how do you just not hire the guy next time? It's like, hey, we got your application. We're going to deny this one because I see the videos of the thousands or the hundreds of people, going through MLB training or umpire training. Corey Seager flies out to deep left. You got Mitch Garver coming up here with 2 outs, no one on. Mitch Garver looks like he's Josh Donaldson up there, that batting stance. One and two to Garver.
Seahawks getting a lot of pub last couple days.
Yeah, I saw McAfee was talking about them.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see if they can get Jackson Smith-Jigba going. He scored a touchdown this past week, but
yeah, that was a game winner.
Still 4 targets, 3 receptions. You'd like to see a little bit more volume there, but you also got to feed DK and Lockett. So
yeah, it seems like when they try to go to DK, it's just like the wires aren't there with Geno to DK.
And those receivers are prima donnas. Stuff keeps going like that for a couple weeks, and he's gonna maybe have a AJ Brown ordeal, because I think it was the second or third week of the season. Brown was kind of caught on the sidelines with Hurts and their head coach, because he was a little irritated he wasn't getting the ball, and now he's gone through a 6-week stretch that Jerry Rice never even reciprocated in his career, which is wild. So I guess, hey,
Man,
maybe DK needs to pop off.
That would make that trade I made with DJ worth it finally, because Kelsey's been going off for him.
For Kelsey, you should have just let DJ drown.
Well, my team also, I kind of needed that just because. I mean, yes, it's obviously Kelsey, but I didn't have much depth at wide receiver and other areas.
Who did he send you tight end wise? Waller, right?
Yeah, I got Waller and DK for Kelsey.
And Waller's hurt now.
Yeah, he left the game. We'll see if he comes back soon. But I mean, I made a mistake by going all in on Justin Fields this year. Justin Fields in all my 4 teams.
That's that Homer Simpson line. Dope.
Because it's like I didn't study before the draft much, and then it's like 2 days before I'm watching tape. It's like, oh, this is a potential MVP season for Justin Fields.
He's going to run for 10. He's going to throw for 20. I mean, hey, at least you didn't have to sit and watch whatever the Raiders were throwing out there last night. I needed 11 points from Devontae Adams, and Jimmy G didn't miss him wide open on a touchdown once. He did it twice.
Man.
And like we heard last night, Justin say, from here on out, they need to put the Raider games on Comedy Central. I mean,
Mitch Garver walked, and then Evan Carter's up right now with Mitch Garver on first, 0-2. Evan Carter flies out. Evan Carter's been, I mean, he's looked really solid this postseason also for them. Another rookie.
Yeah, he was a top 50 prospect coming into this season. Didn't get called up until I think the September roster expansion. And then another guy that they have, is Langford, the number 3 pick in the draft. And all the pub went to obviously Skins and Dylan Cruz, but all Langford did in his short time in the minor leagues is mash. So he's a guy that could be up next September as well. And all of a sudden, you've got
Dolis, Evan Carter.
You got this $500 million, to Simeon and Seager, but now you've got guys like Evan Carter and Wyatt Langford. And I'll take a look at Adolis's, how long
he's getting paid like $500,000 right now, or $700K. Yeah, he's on the minimum.
Yeah, and how many more years of arbitration do they have him at?
Yeah, 3 years of arbitration.
How many?
3.
As he's going to start getting expensive this offseason, I'm sure that arbitration hearing
it shows the estimate at just 5, which I mean is for a first year of arbitration, but that's still really cheap for what you're getting.
No, absolutely.
I think your mic is covered.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely. And obviously being a Mariners fan, you're kind of looking at this Rangers roster and how it's constructed, and they're going to be here for the next 3 to 5 years for sure.
Yeah, it's like finally the Astros are going away. Oh no, the Rangers are here.
Yeah.
And
a lot of their pitching though, Montgomery, they have the money to re-sign him and bring him back. But they've got DeGrom, Evaldi,
for his 5 games that he'll pitch.
Yeah, some of their arms are a little, they've had a lot of work done on them. Certainly not their lineup, but again, like we say, yeah, this is going to be kind of a mellow free agency this offseason. Obviously, we're going to have the Shohei sweepstakes, which is nice. You have a very, very dynamic headliner, but next offseason, 2025, I mean, it's just ripe with pitchers. Zach Wheeler, Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, Max Fried, to name a few. Like there's going to be 5 number ones out there, and a gaggle of number twos as well. So
yeah, and I mean we've got Logan Gilbert, George Kirby for until like 28 is when they're going to be starting to come due. Brian Wu,
arbitration
Bryce
is,
Miller.
Bryce Miller, 5-6 years of control. Wu, 5-6 years of control. Emerson Hancock. Still some other arms, but Luis Castillo. How many? 2 to 3 years after this season? I know he signed that extension.
Yeah, let me look. Luis Castillo. It was like a 5-year deal, I believe. I think there was a option also. Okay, no trade clause. So he's through 27, and then there's a vesting option for 28. He'll vest with 180 innings pitched in 27. So potentially through 28. And Ketel Marte gets a hit.
Does he?
Huh?
Did he get a hit?
Yeah.
Wow. So that's 19 now?
That's 20, I think.
20.
I'm pretty sure last night was 19. Yeah, 20 game. Ketel Marte with the 20-game postseason hit streak. That's a postseason record.
Man, that is something. He's been just a scary at-bat in the postseason, all postseason long. And he's gone up there with multiple approaches, whether he needs to be a leadoff guy or whether it needs to be a guy bringing in the runs in terms of getting on base or getting guys in. Got a lot of thunder for a little guy.
Yeah, switch hitter. I mean, he's been
almost kind of reminds you a little bit of like a Jose Ramirez, a poor man's version. In terms of hitting, obviously, I don't believe Jose's a switch hitter. Ketel is.
You don't think he was a switch hitter? Sorry.
Jose Ramirez.
You don't think he's a switch hitter?
Is he?
Jose Ramirez?
Yes. Okay. Sorry. Take my baseball card.
Yeah. And Ketel Marte is always one of the best cards in the show, of course, because he's switch hitter. Corbin Carroll 1-2, and he goes down swinging. The high cheddar. How many years until the Nationals are in the playoffs? So next year?
No, it's 2025. I think we have the opportunity to take a leap like the Diamondbacks did in terms of 2025 coming in. The learners have showed that they will spend money on free agents, the Max Scherzer contract, the Jason Worth contract, and this is very similar to the ETA of that initial rebuild that we went through, where they were so dog water from 2006 to 2009, and they ended up getting, obviously 2 back-to-back number ones that were Strasburg and Bryce Harper. That's not going to come around for, that's almost feels like it's a once in 50 year, once in 100 year type.
Unless you have the Pirates.
Yeah. And hey, you've got Mackenzie Gore, Josiah Gray, Cade Cavalli coming back from Tommy John this year.
Dude, I'm really excited to see Dylan Cruz and how quickly he can make an impact. It's going to be opening day.
It's tough to say. I mean, he obviously played Double-A this year, which is what you want to see, because that jump from A to AA is pretty significant. It's like a lot of people say Single-A is comparable to college baseball. At least what Cruz was playing in conference-wise, SEC nature. But I'm not in a big rush to bring these guys up. James Wood is very exciting. Robert Hassel really showed out in Arizona Fall League. He hit over 300. he he was the number one prospect in the Soto trade when it originally happened, and now obviously James Wood has shot up the rankings for that. But I'm hoping that they can go out and sign a Zach Wheeler, sign a Corbin Burns or Brandon Woodruff, and spend money on a starting arm. And then you have the Mackenzie Gores, Josiah Grays, and your homegrown talent there. But C.J. Abrams, I think we can legit say could be an all-star for us next year. Stole over 40 bases, 19 homers, so very close to a 2040 year. Obviously, stolen bases in my eyes come with an asterisk for everybody.
Better upside than Julio, right?
Yeah, with the new rules. But this was a team that was supposed to be, according to Vegas, worse than the A's this year, and they went 71 and 91. So, I think a 70-win season was pretty positive for me as a fan this year, and I'm looking for them to go 77-85. A 6 to 10 win improvement would be nice, but the Marlins, they've got some young pitching and some exciting players, but they've just haven't figured it out. Alcantara, is out all next year. The Phillies are going to be good. The Mets took a big step back too themselves. That next year for the Mets is a pivot year as well. Senga obviously is shown to be a number 2, maybe borderline number 1 starter. He's going to pick up some Cy Young votes, as well as some Rookie of the Year votes. Corbin Carroll obviously running away with that, but you've got the Braves and the Phillies that you're dealing with, and then kind of 3 teams that are 2 teams in a pivot stage, and 1 team that's trying to get to the next level.
Yeah, and I mean the Marlins with their pitching, they've got so much depth at pitching. It's the injury concern. Sixto Sanchez is still down there. They got Meyer, of course, in the first round. They got Thomas White,
Max
I believe,
Meyer
was the other guy. Yeah,
Max
Meyer,
Meyer
he's
about
coming
a
off
year
of
and a
an
half
injury.
ago. Had the injury concerns, and Jesus Luzardo, and Braxton Garrett turned out to be a pretty serviceable number 3, number 4 guy for him, lefty. So, we'll see what they do with their offense. It doesn't have a lot of oomph in it. You've got Soler, Gizardo, Chisholm, who can't stay healthy, and obviously Mr. 400 Luis Arias.
Yeah, Ketel Marte was thrown out at a second. That'll end the inning. So no score heading into the second.
Yeah, of course the bullpen game for the Diamondbacks is going to be the 3-2 game in this series.
Yeah, and then you were away, but if Eovaldi, he's starting tomorrow. If he gets the win, he'd be the first pitcher in MLB history to get 5 wins in the postseason.
That's incorrect. Steven Strasburg had 5 in the 2019 postseason.
Well, then I'm curious what the stat was because I saw 5 wins.
Yeah, so this happened a week ago. Bob Nightingale tweeted it out with somebody, and then national
Must have been a Bob tweet, of course.
Yeah, national fans, and you can look up his 2019 run just right now too. He got 5 wins in that.
Let me fact check you real quick.
Yeah, fact check, please.
Game log. If you're joining the stream, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below who you think's gonna win this game, win the series. What do you think of Adolis and Max Scherzer being out? Let's see. So postseason 2019. Why is there no win category?
Are you on Baseball Reference?
Yeah.
Should just go to postseason.
Okay. He got 6 wins. Wait, no, that's just the result. Okay, decision. Yeah, he got 5 wins.
Believe me, brother, I was at every game that postseason.
That would have been cool. What was the cheapest you paid for a ticket that year?
The cheapest I paid for a ticket?
Yeah.
I would probably say game 1, game 2, um, or sorry,
Doug, the score is 0-0 heading into the second, by the way.
I think game 3, I had my cheapest tickets in the NLDS against the Dodgers. I got it for like $40, and that Dodger series, it went up like $20-$30 a game. And the NLCS, I paid like $80-$90, and then we paid $900 for game 3 of the World Series, standing room only. Yep. My dad, my buddy, and I. But that was the first World Series game in DC since I think in the early mid 30s, at the time. The Astros just kind of jumped on the Nats in every home game that series early, and kind of took the crowd away. You could feel the crowd, pregame, and like, okay, this is a different type of crowd. But in the playoffs, that opposing team comes in and jumps on you quick. All of a sudden, that energy turns into collective anxiety.
And Josh Young's up right now. It's 1-2 count. But yeah, I mean, Juan Soto that postseason. I mean, him hitting that home run off of Verlander in Houston.
Yeah, and if you one of my favorite parts of that,
Howie hit a big home run, right?
Yeah, Howie hit the foul pole.
Yeah,
and Max Scherzer, when he came back, when the Rangers came back for Game 6 and 7 in Houston, he was quoted by a national journalist like,
Josh Young into the gap.
Oh boy,
he's gonna get 2. He's lugging around first. Yeah.
Josh Young's a big boy. But yeah, no, Scherzer said, I love that foul pole, that right field foul pole. Howie Kendrick, 2-1 game, made it 3-2. And that game, Zach Greinke was just dealing through 6 innings. He was at like 50 pitches. For some reason, they took him out. They never put in Garrett Cole. He's still warming up in that bullpen.
Jeez.
The rest is history. But no, one city I'd love to see, get a World Series, obviously Seattle. It's a great sports city, and some those Mariners home games. They only had one home game against the Astros, right?
Yeah, they just had the one.
And was that the 18-inning game?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh man,
I stood right behind home plate in the bullpen for 18 innings.
What was that like?
I mean, it was electric. Who was it? Who did the national anthem? It was sick. Local band from up there, guitar. Was it Pearl Jam?
It might have been Pearl Jam, because
I think it was Pearl Jam. Let me look that up. The national anthem. Yeah, it was sick. And yeah, towels flying around all over the place. Yeah, the energy was insane. And then it's like, the thing is, when you're at a game, you don't 100% know everything that's going on, especially when you're standing out in the bullpen, because you're just trying to watch the TV basically behind you.
Yeah.
And react. Because like when
Pearl Jam did.
Yeah, that was amazing. Anthem. But yeah, like, George Kirby striking out, Yordan Alvarez, Munoz striking guys out. Yeah, just the energy was insane. And then Pena hit a home run right into the bullpen. So
yeah, that one was brutal. Yeah, I just remember driving home from Central California when the game started. I was in Bakersfield, and it's like a 6-hour drive to San Diego, and we got back, and still it was like only the 15th inning. I was like,
only the 15th inning.
This game won't end.
Yeah.
Obviously before the pitch clock and everything.
Yeah, Doug says the Mariners should have been in the playoffs this year, and I absolutely agree. And there's, all the Mariners fan base is going, I mean, rightfully so, over the front office. They didn't do enough this offseason.
Yeah.
You come in with Tommy La Stella, you sign AJ Pollock, just banking that he can hit lefties still. Like, that's the only reason they got him. And then,
I mean, think obviously hindsight's always twofold, but I mean, I think every Mariners fan would have signed up for Cody Bellinger, 1 season, $18 million. Look at what he did. The type of player that he needed to get away from LA. They were platooning him. He was probably so in his head. Gets to Chicago, new regime, new city, new team, and turns into 85% of that NL guy, NL MVP guy he was. And boy, if you had Bellinger, you got to think that's at least 3 wins.
The thing
Right
is,
there.
like any free agent, especially a bat that's trying to prove themselves and have a bounce back year, they're probably not going to go to one of the most pitcher friendly ballparks.
Yeah.
And it's like I hear all the time. It's like I don't know how much I believe in the marine layer. I know it's a factor, but it's more of the mindset that players get in is what I've heard also. That that impacts it. They just approach things differently when they're playing in the ballpark.
Also, Seattle just doesn't. It's not like a city that free agents don't want to go to either.
I also feel like people don't know a ton about the city. They see one thing on the news about it, and they haven't been there to experience it, and they don't know about it.
I've been in the middle of Lake Union with a couple beers in July, sunny day, and let me tell you, there's not a better setting.
Yeah, during it's summer, it's amazing up
fantastic. There. And hey, you sign a free. You don't need to live there during the wintertime. You can go hang out in Arizona.
And there's drive-line baseball right there.
Yeah,
you could live in 20-30 minutes from the ballpark. You get when I was up there at Driveline, they said that Taylor Trammell would come in, and I'm sure other guys do it too. They come in on the mornings, when there's a 7:00 game, they'll come in, like iron out some things in the batting cage, and then just head to the stadium. I don't know how many other places have a thing like that. I don't know where Tread Athletics is, but that's another one like Driveline that I see a lot on TikTok. Super analytical. Jonah Heim's up, 1 out, guy on second.
Boy, how about what a step forward Jonah Heim took this season, man. Obviously he was a Mariners killer before he took the big step forward this year, but he's turned into a good hitting catcher.
Switch hitter also.
Yeah.
Is Castro who Seager hit the? No, that was Seawald. Adolis hit the game-winning home run for Castro.
Correct.
And that was like a 97-mile-an-hour sinker, like inner third, and Adolis takes it the other way.
And he took it the other way. That is why there are certain guys that are Major League Baseball hitters. How hard that is to do. It's insane. To keep your hands inside like that and have enough power to go the other way. It's ridiculous.
I've seen Julio done it a lot of times to where it's just it looks like he's jammed, and then it's past the outfielders to the wall. And you just don't understand how that's possible. But then you look at a picture of Adolis next to Julio. Adolis is massive.
Yeah. You guys in your neighborhood get any trick-or-treaters at all?
Yeah, we have a lot of kids in the neighborhood, so we just put a basket outside with the light on. Like, yeah, you can just do your thing.
God, I saw a video on Instagram today of a guy buying like 200 2-liter sodas and had this system where he was on the second deck of his home, and the kids would come up and say root beer, Dr. Pepper, cream soda, and he had this chute that he was sending the 2 liters down. Like, that is one of the most insane trick-or-treating things I've seen.
I'm curious if a parent's going to let their kid soda bong something from a stranger.
Yeah, make sure you're not the house that's putting out the edibles to the kiddos. Always love seeing those.
Timmy still hasn't woken up.
Those news. Have you checked your kids' Halloween candy this year? More at 8 p.m. tonight. So it looked like Tavares just walked.
Guy in third, 2 outs.
Is that Tavares that walked
Oh, so
on
you're looking
third?
at the feed, huh? You're not watching the stream. Doug, your neighbor gave you $5. You need to send your address ASAP. I'll be over.
Doug, what do you have out tonight? What's the candy? What's the candy you guys are giving out to the kiddos?
You got candy, or do you have a soda pop line? Cash dispenser? I saw one guy that was, you have to put in a quarter to get the candy out.
Yeah.
Put that on your front step.
Hey, you might make $20.
It's a trick and a treat,
Yeah. Trick or treat. There you go.
Looks like
What's
pass ball Josh Young scores. That's 1-0 Rangers. Oh, that was 20 years ago. That is neighbor gave him $5.
Hey, obviously this was kind of switching back to the D-backs terms here with the bullpen day. This was going to be the tougher game for them. They're going to be in deep trouble if they're going down 3-1, but I think Gallen would pitch game 5. You feel good about that. He's got great home numbers, and then it's going to be a lot easier to win in Texas than it is in Philly. I haven't seen any other fan base standing from the first inning, second inning, third inning. All these older guys and their families and their oil money, they're sitting down drinking their beers.
Yeah, Philly looked insane.
Are you watching the game too?
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Is there Halloween costumes going on right now? They showing it at all?
No, they're not showing any crowd because there's probably not any crowd there. Thomas said, I saw on Instagram or something that someone gives out potatoes for Halloween. That must be in Idaho. That's the only place that you'd give out potatoes.
Right?
Downtown Boise. Single up the middle from Jankowski. Guy on first and second now with 2 outs.
Yeah, so Jankowski's the guy that's going to get the spot for Adalis here, and he kind of revived his career a little bit. Kind of had been out of the majors for a couple seasons. Was a first-round draft pick by the Padres years ago. Yeah, and had a decent season. He's just your typical lefty slap hitter that plays good defense and can run.
And don't look at the website, but it's a big at bat here by Simeon.
What's he gonna do?
I'm guessing he's due for some RBIs, maybe a triple. He's due for a triple. You got Nelson warming up for the Diamondbacks.
Boy. There's a couple stadiums in baseball where they've just got those triple alleys. I mean, you look at San Francisco,
right,
as one. This ballpark as another. I'm sure I'm missing a couple.
Coors is known as a
Coors
big
is
park,
huge.
also, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Coors has some major alleys in left and right.
Yeah, and Seager laces it down the left field line into the corner. Gurriel is stumbling over himself, just trying to get to the ball.
Wheels are turning.
Seager, Simeon before that was in the 100s for batting average this postseason, so he was due. And now you got the Cookie Monster. There's a base open on first, guy on third. How many outs are there? You got 2 outs. Yeah, you at this point maybe start intentionally walking Corey Seager.
I'm not intentionally walking him, but I'm not putting anything in the zone. Not in the cookie zone.
He wants to eat.
You guys have any special Halloween dinner planned?
This is the special plans right here.
Yeah.
I'm already pretty full on candy. I don't know about you.
Did you put a hungry man in the microwave and she's doing her own thing?
Pretty much. I had to make sure all the Reese's were out of the bins before the kids got to them. So
Yeah.
and some of the Moke Duds. Yeah, he had a tough time grabbing that ball in left field. Probably, yeah, he could have maybe held him to a double if he would have picked it up cleanly. Gurriel's a guy that, he can't be your only addition, but if he's one of the depth pieces for the Mariners, he's one of the guys that I put on the off-season preview just as a depth piece. I mean, we'll see if we can go get Bellinger or someone like that, because I have to assume that we're not getting Shohei, even as nice as that would be. Dylan, what's your favorite candy? Thomas wants to know.
Man, I love a Reese's. Don't get me wrong. I love a good Reese's.
But
I like Albanese, the Albanese gummy bears, the white pack.
Can't say that
I don't know if you can pull that up.
Albanese?
Albanese, ALBANESE.
ALBA. Say again?
ALBA, Albanese, NESE. It's a 12 flavored gummy bear. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Oh, they're so good. So I'd say
premium
Reese's
package.
I'd say Reese's for chocolate, and if I'm thinking something gummy, I'm going Albanese.
For me, it's Skittles or Starburst, I would say.
Yeah, I love a good tropical Skittle pack. That's always good.
And then candy. I love mint, like Yorks.
Yeah,
Reese's is really good too.
So you're a thin mint guy. To
junior mints.
You put them in the freezer.
Put the junior mints in the freezer. Same thing with the Yorks.
Okay, yeah. The junior mints in the freezer are good. Hey, and don't get me wrong, just a good old fashioned Hershey's Kiss, solid.
Yeah. Also, during Christmas time, the peppermint Hershey Kisses.
Yeah.
Corey Seager's up to the plate.
God. Oh boy, let's check.
You do not pitch. Do not feed a cookie to the Cookie Monster.
What did we just say?
I said to walk him. I said to walk him.
You said to walk him. I said to pitch around him. Don't give me.
You don't want to put anything in that cookie zone. Well, that means don't throw him a pitch. That means just walk him. Otherwise, he's going to keep doing that to you. It's 5-0 now, Rangers. This game in the second inning, is it out of reach? Maybe.
It might be. This is great news. We've got Billy Baru, a good buddy of ours in our fantasy baseball league. He's got Game 5 tickets. He's a diehard Snakes fan. We're gonna have to strap a GoPro on that guy tomorrow and see how that Game 5 vibe is, because it's gonna be the butt cheeks are gonna be a little tight.
They fed the Cookie Monster, and he is now full. Yeah, he crushed that.
I say this all the time. We've got a lot of Dodger friends. How do you let Corey Seager walk? I mean,
and that's a franchise. They pay everyone that they want. And I mean, the fact that, I think, was Corey first and then Simeon second in the signings?
I'm not positive, but I think so.
Might have been the other way around, but I mean, they must have had a stellar presentation explaining what they're going to be doing with the franchise, because they turned that thing around and they went out and spent.
Hey, it also doesn't. It also helps when you're filing your taxes in the state of Texas as well, and you're making over 250 million dollars on a contract.
The thing is, though, you pay taxes depending on which stadium you're playing in that game. So if you go and
Really?
play games in California, you're paying California taxes for those games.
Wow, I had no idea. That
Yeah.
makes sense. I mean, hey, it's probably works similar to sales commissions. You know, if you're bouncing around selling solar in multiple states or homes.
Right. You're paying that state's taxes.
Yeah. So yeah,
But still,
and you
you're
know,
playing
with the
you're playing
Rangers,
81 games in Texas. That still helps.
yeah, and then the 9 or 10 or so that you're playing in Houston, and then you know you're playing the Angels and the A's. You know,
Washington doesn't have any income tax.
no.
So
Certainly like the Mariners games.
yeah.
Well, hey, I'm gonna jump on a little later with you here. Hopefully, the Diamondbacks can get something going, and I'll jump on in during the rally.
All right. Sounds good.
Thanks for having me, Connor.
All right. Yep. See ya. So it's the bottom of the second now. Diamondbacks are now down 5-0. We'll see if they'll be able to come back from this. 5-0 deficit, second inning, down 2-1. They decided to pitch to Corey Seager, and they paid for it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is a fun series to watch, though. Really fun matchup. Unexpected, completely unexpected. The Phillies looked like a juggernaut of an offense in the postseason up until those last 2 games in Philadelphia where the Diamondbacks straight up shut them down. I think it was the top 4 guys, or not the top 4, but Schwarber, Castellanos, Turner, and Harper went like 1 for 28 those last 2 games in Philadelphia. After, looking in when they were in Philadelphia, the first few games they just dominated. Yeah, Thomas. Doug says he wants Arizona to win. I would agree. Got to hope that Paul Sewald gets a ring. If anyone's going to get a ring, give one to Paul Sewald at this point. Larry Stone put a article out where he was talking with Paul Sewald, and they talked about that trade. It was unexpected at the time, and Paul Sewald might have been upsetting to be traded away from the Mariners, but now he's in the World Series because of that. So, and then I've always thought, how do the other guys feel? Josh Rojas, Canzone, who were on that team that's now in the World Series, traded away from the team that's in the World Series. That's got to be that's got to be tough. Yeah, Thomas says very exciting postseason, and glad it's not the Astros. For sure, glad it's not the Astros. Finally, and I'm going to make a video coming up soon talking about the decline of the Astros, because looking at their contracts coming up and where they're at as a franchise, they traded away, I believe it was their second best prospect for 2 years of Verlander. They have their runway is really coming up for how long they can be competitive for. So in the AL West, it goes from the Astros being the top team. Now the Rangers come out of nowhere. They sign all these guys. They have, they traded for Adolis Garcia and for Nathaniel Lowe. And then they bring up guys like, Josh Young and Evan Carter through the minor league system on top of the guys that they signed. And now you have this team that's going to be competing with the Mariners for the division the next 5+ years, which is what the Mariners time frame is. Doug says that it's a bad trade for Seattle. Only time will tell with that one. I'm an optimist, but I mean, go look at Dominic Canzone's minor league numbers. Go look at Ryan Bliss's minor league numbers. Josh Rojas, there's some potential there. At the very least, he could be an average second baseman. If we get average at second base, then that's much better than what the Mariners have had as far as production at second base on the major league level. But if Canzone, as I talked in my offseason preview, the Mariners need to move away from all of this, walks, strikeouts, home runs style of a roster build to get some guys that have high contact, high batting average to where they're putting the ball in play consistently. They're not just swinging for the fences. And so that, in late game situations to where there's guys on base, you need a hit. You're not just going to have a guy strike out or hope for a walk. So I personally like the trade, but it's you got to be looking at it from a longer term perspective. Right now, it can be frustrating for sure, but having Seawald leave did not kill the bullpen. Having Matt Brash, Andres Munoz, Justin Topa, Saucedo, Spire, all these guys, the bullpen was still solid. The last few weeks, starting pitching fell apart, and I could talk for hours about this basically, but I am a fan of the trade. And then Thomas, Doug says Canzone didn't play well. Rojas was inconsistent, too many trades. Well, the thing is, that was really the only trade that was made. I believe there was one or two other moves around that time, but there wasn't enough done. But a factor of why there wasn't more trades is because there was a lot of teams that were in that limbo stage to where they were teams that might be in it, they might be out of it, but they were at least in a spot to not be sellers. And so since there weren't a lot of sellers, there wasn't much opportunity to bring guys in from other teams. So unfortunately, that's kind of what, kind of bootstrapped them. Thomas said he likes the trade. He's a fan of Rojas. Yeah, we'll have to see with Rojas. And apparently that was, one of the guys that Dipoto was really trying to get worked into the trade was Rojas, in that they weren't going to accept the deal unless they worked him into there. He's a big leaguer with a couple years of experience. Let me take a look at his stats. Nothing crazy, but like I said, if he's a league average bat and if he can field a ball, then that's an upgrade for the Mariners at second base. So Josh Rojas, he entered the league in 2019 as a 25-year-old. So he's been in the league 1, 2, 3, 4. This was his 5th year in the league. I think he might have gone up and down in 2020. But so far in his career over the 5 years, Josh Rojas is a 253 batting average, on-base percentage 329, slugging 363, so an OPS of 698. OPS plus so far in his career of 92, so slightly below league average. So, I mean, we'll see. They must see something in him that made them really want him. You got a Canzone jersey. I like that. Canzone seems like a cool dude. Like he just seems like a good vibe in the clubhouse, and probably a good move to get a Canzone jersey because he'll be on the team for a while. Let me see here. And Josh Rojas, he's going to be under contract for, I believe, 3 more years. Let's take a look. So Josh Rojas, earliest free agent is 2027. I think Canzone's going to be around 2028. And then, Doug says runners in scoring position, but no RBIs runs. Yeah, that's the thing is We had so many runners in scoring position. And I want to say that the Mariners had an average or above average number when you're actually looking at the details of with runners in scoring position. It just felt like they could never get a hit when it mattered. Yeah, Munoz is crazy good. Dakota says, sign Shohei, let's go. I agree. Let's see if they throw the book at him. Back up the Brinks truck. The thing is, it doesn't even come down to money. He's going to pay for himself no matter what. It's like write him a blank check. Because jersey sales, the amount of attendance that you're going to get a boost out of it. West Coast, great city for the Japanese culture is in Seattle. I think that would be massive. We'll see if it actually happens. Can't bank on getting Shohei. They got to make some moves probably beforehand so that they can convince him, like, hey, we're doing some good stuff here. Take a chance on us. We're building to the team. Come join us, and you're that final piece. If he's the final piece of making the Mariners a true contender, then it's going to be that much easier to be able to actually realistically get him. But I just hope he doesn't go to the Dodgers. That's the rumor team that is in the lead, or that will be in the lead. Gilbert says they didn't do enough at the trade deadline to solidify the bullpen and help the starting rotation. They paid for it in September. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you're asking a lot of Brian Wu and Bryce Miller. Both of them came up this year and were lights out the entire year, essentially. They had their ups and downs like everybody, but for Luis Castillo to struggle his last outing or two, I believe George Kirby, really the starting pitcher, Bryce Miller and Brian Wu both got touched up a bit their last couple of starts. Can always add depth, even if you think it might be, doing too much. You can't do too much. Do I think Shohei would ever become a reliever? That would be interesting. That'd be cool. Of course his value would go down, but if you had Shohei in the back end of the bullpen on top of what else you have, if anything, looking at the World Baseball Classic, him pitching against Mike Trout, closing out that game, if he's throwing one inning, he's already sitting 100 basically in that range, 95 to 100. If he's in there for one inning, just get 3 outs, that's devastating. But I would say towards the back end of his career, if anything, he would move to the bullpen. He's got a few years still in the starting rotation, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy how good the pitching did with the amount of injuries we had. I want to say there wasn't a ton of injuries. Of course, Robbie Ray going down. Yeah, Marco Gonzalez, those two. Thankfully, no one else. Emerson Hancock got hurt also. So there was a decent amount of injuries. But yeah, it really started to eat into the depth of the Mariners starting rotation. And, if anyone else were to go down, who would be the next guy to come up from the minor leagues? You would have Tommy Malone coming in to fill out that 5 spot. I don't think that's a great plan to go in with. Right now it's 5-0 Texas, top of the 3rd inning. 1 out. Nathaniel Lowe is up to bat. 0-2 count with the guy in first. Going against the pitcher Nelson. What do you guys think? Would you want to take or send a contract to Cody Bellinger? Or how about Lourdes Gurriel Jr.? What do you think about signing Matt Chapman? Who else is there? And then, of course, I think we should go get Blake Snell. There's also Aaron Nola there. I'm not sure if he's willing to come to the West Coast. There's also Jordan Montgomery, who's going to be a free agent. We'll see if he sticks around with the Rangers or if he's going to be in play. There's also Sonny Gray. He was one of the guys that was rumored or at least that Mariners fans were hoping to trade for. He's going to be available. And if you guys were to trade a young starting pitcher, which young starting pitcher would you trade? And realistically, like, what do you think you would get back for that? I think that's the really tough decision. I think it has to be, Brian Wood or Bryce Miller, but I want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, the bullpen didn't get injured, which was huge. You like Matt Chapman, or if there are any other second basemen? Well, for better or worse, it seems that they want Josh Rojas at second base for the long term. So, I mean, they have to add depth to the bench. They've got Dylan Moore, but you can't go in expecting to make the playoffs and having the backups that we do. Rojas is good at second, but I think of him at third. You think Rojas at third? Because Gino Suarez, he's got next year under contract, and then there's a club option in 2025. I don't think the Mariners would roll with Gino in 25. I could be wrong, but yeah, third base is definitely going to be something that you would have to look at. Snell is good. Whitfield from Toronto would be great. I don't think Whitfield he's been playing outfield, I want to say. You mean Whit Merrifield? That's who you mean? Whitfield. Yeah, second baseman and outfielder this year. Whit Merrifield played 84 games at second base, 84 games in the outfield. Interesting. But yeah, Whit Merrifield was an all-star last year. I mean, his OPS is below league average technically, but yeah, Dakota says get Cattell back. Well, I think his price has gone up. I don't think that's going to be realistic, but that, if to have Cattell Marte on your team right now, clearly that would have been amazing. But what you got back for him, and then what you traded that for, you got Gene Segura, traded that for JP Crawford, who's now your everyday shortstop. JP Crawford had his biggest offensive year. Yeah, Moore's pretty inconsistent is the thing. And then also you got Sam Haggerty there. Suarez definitely is a top tier third baseman right now, but I mean, also he's a clubhouse guy for sure. When Scott Service is giving his pregame pressers in the dugout, it gets me every time, but Eugenio Suarez, when he comes out of the dugout, he yells and it startles everybody every time. It's amazing. But yeah, Gino Suarez, he's OPSing right at league average. Last year, he had a solid year. He got snubbed for the Gold Glove for sure. He had a great defensive year. Bring back Shed Long. Yeah. I don't know. Where's he at right now? He's still with the Reds? Ooh, he's with the Orioles. Okay. Interesting. He hasn't played in the major leagues since 2021 with the Mariners, but yeah, I'll take a pass on that one. You said Merrifield wants out of Toronto. What's up, Rooftop? Yeah, if they got Ohtani and Snell, that would be solid. I mean, yeah, that would be ideal because obviously you need to go get Snell. Basically, that's your target because he's a Seattle guy already, so that would be an easier sell. You're probably going to be trading away Bryce Miller and or Brian Wu. So, and then you got Robbie Ray coming back next year. You got Marco coming back next year to eat up innings. Snell and Ohtani's not going to be pitching next year. He's going to be Ohtani's got Tommy John. He's going to be recovering next year. He'll just be DH. But yeah, the following year when he's pitching, that'll be huge. Yeah, Ty France had a big down or a down year. Let me look up his stats. Ty France is hitting up driveline baseball with JB Crawford. Um if Ty France can get back to his 2021-22 numbers, Ty France in 2021 batted 291, 368 on base percentage, OPSing 813. He had an OPS OPS of 813, OPS plus of 128. 2022 followed that up with a 125 OPS season, OPS plus. And then this year, technically, I guess his OPS plus was at 99, but he was batting 250 instead of the 274 to 300 that he was batting prior to that. He definitely looks lost at times up there, and when he's not making super hard contact, when he is making contact. But if he goes to driveline and does what JP did last offseason, that would be huge. And right now the bases are loaded for Taveras. 3-2 count, 1 out, bases loaded, 5-0 game, Texas. 3-2, bases loaded. And he strikes him out with a slider down and in. So now 2 outs. Yeah, Ty France definitely isn't producing enough. Now up is Jankowski, who got a single in his first at bat. Top of the third, 0-1 count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Man, the umpire just missed a call right there. That was strike 2 for sure. My stream is a bit behind, but there's some action coming right now. Yeah, Alec Thomas bobbled the ball. 7-0. Texas, 2 outs, top of the third. Guy on second and third now. Yeah, well, this game is over in the third inning. And this is without Adolis. Now it's Marcus Semien. Up at bat, 2 outs. Guys on second and third, 0-1 count. And Semien blasts a ball to deep left. Barely gets over the wall for a home run. So Semien now has a triple and a 3-run home run. I believe that was a 2 RBI triple. Yeah, so he has 5 RBIs on the game now. Coming into this game, Marcus Semien was batting in the hundreds this postseason. He was due for a game, and that's exactly what he's doing. He now has a triple in his first at bat, 3-run home run in his second at bat. It's now 10-0 Rangers. I guess this is what you kind of get for a bullpen day. I mean, yikes. So the Diamondbacks so far, Mantiply went 1 1/3, gave up just 1 earned run. Castro went a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 3 earned runs. Nelson gave up 1 earned run, and then Frias now pitching 2/3 of an inning so far. Has given up 2 earned runs. 2 home runs, 1 to the Cookie Monster. Okay, Seager's up again. I have to pull up this graphic again. Every time that Seager's up, this is coming out. There we go. As David Ortiz says, you do not keep feeding the Cookie Monster. Dylan and I were on the stream earlier when Seager was up the last time. I said to intentionally walk him. There was a guy on third base. No one on first or second. 2 outs. You could put Corey Seager on first base, get that force at second in play. But no, they decided to pitch to him. And that's a dinger. So now there are 2 big signings from a couple off seasons ago. Marcus Semien and Corey Seager have both homered. Marcus Semien and Corey Seager combined tonight now have 7 total RBIs together. You do not feed the Cookie Monster. Everyone say hi to Puffin. Yeah, cycle watch in the World Series. We are on the cycle watch right now. It's the 3rd inning. Marcus Semien is probably going to get 5, maybe 6 at bats. He's got another 3 to 4 opportunities to get a single and a double. When he laces the next one into the corner, we'll see if he decides to stop at second or if he goes for third again. Yeah, Ellie De La Cruz from Cincy would be amazing to have. That would be awesome to have, basically like a Julio playing shortstop, essentially. Ellie's a once-in-a-generational type guy also. There's a few once-in-a-generational type guys that are in the league right now, but Ellie De La Cruz, he's got the power of all of the top guys, basically. He's got the speed of like a Corbin Carroll. I think Corbin had the fastest sprint speed, but it's really close. But yeah, I mean, the Cincinnati Reds, they were right there in the playoff push. And if the Mariners were in the National League, they would be in the playoffs. They had a better record than the Diamondbacks, but you play in the division you're in. Who else do you guys think the Mariners should get? Or if you're not a Mariners fan, what team are you a fan of? What players should your team go get? What do you think of the World Series so far? Right now it's 10-0 Rangers. And Andrew Heaney is still out there for the Rangers. He's started the inning with 33 pitches through 2 innings pitched so far. He's got a couple Ks, a couple hits allowed. But I mean, pitching with a 10-run lead now, Heaney's going to go 7 here. Just let him throw until his arm falls off. You don't have Scherzer anymore. Got to save up your bullpen as much as you can, I would assume. And then you got Eovaldi going tomorrow night. But hey, the Diamondbacks, they came back in that Philadelphia Philly series. When I thought it was over, that Philly series. I think the Phillies were up 2-0 heading into Arizona. And then, the Philly looked like the juggernaut of an offense, and then Arizona shut them down the last 2 games. So if they get down 3-1, don't count them out quite yet. Dakota says the M's need reliable bats. I don't think JP is going to have that good of a season again. I hope so. Just don't think he'll be as good. I think that's pretty realistic to say. Let me look at JP's numbers. Yeah, I mean, he was batting in the 9 spot before. He was batting leadoff all year this year in 131 OPS plus. He tied Julio Rodriguez in OPS. Julio did it by the way of the home runs. JP, he had his fair share of leadoff home runs, which is impressive. And he had some moonshots also, but he had a really good eye, had a great on-base percentage. Thank you for joining, Doug. I'll see you again next time. Appreciate it. But I'm pulling up JP's stats right now. I'm pulling up the team stats for the Mariners. Let me see. Here we go. Yeah, JP Crawford and Julio both had an 818 OPS. JP had an on-base percentage of 380. Let me take a look at where does JP compare to the rest of the league in on-base percentage, because that's really good. Okay, so Yordan Alvarez had the highest OPS, 1.487. Jeez. On-base percentage. Let's see. And Ketel Marte hits a double. 2 outs in the bottom of the 3rd. He's on second. Corbin Carroll coming up. The comeback begins right now. So on-base percentage. Okay, this is postseason. That's why. Okay, so Ronald Acuna had the best on-base percentage in baseball last year, or this year, 416. Evan Carter had the second best on-base percentage. Texas Rangers rookie. Although he played in 23 games. It looks like we got Will on. Let's bring in Will. What's up, Will?
What up, dude?
How's it going?
Not too bad. Sorry, a little later than I expected, but
Oh, you're good.
Here. Looks like I didn't miss much in this game. It's all real close.
I mean, the game's
Back
already
and forth
over.
Battle.
Yeah, right. Man. Yeah, so I don't know if you saw, but the prior few games, Corey Seager hit that, game-tying home run, game 1, bottom of the 9th. David Ortiz called him the Cookie Monster. He's like, you got to stop feeding the Cookie Monster. And then after last night's game, he hits another home run. Same thing. And then tonight, Dylan was on when he was up the first time. There was a guy on third, 2 outs, bases on first and second base were open. It's like, you just stop pitching to Corey Seager. You intentionally walk him. Just don't let him do anything to you. And then, Cookie Monster does his thing.
Yeah, no kidding. Good night. Oh, hey.
There we go.
You got the real setup there going.
How's your day going though?
Oh, not too bad. Just living the dream every day.
Yep.
How's yours? I like the connect.
You like the
little
what?
Connect jersey. I like the Connect jersey.
Oh yeah, thanks. It's Halloween. I'm dressing up as I identify as a World Series contender also, so I had to wear the.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, can't you tell? I'm dressed up as Coach Will. There's my little.
There you go.
There you go.
So is you guys the season done then?
Oh yeah, yeah, we're done. Happens. We're young.
Yeah.
We're building on it. You're right. You're right there. You got 2 games where, you're right there with the teams that finish, second and third in the league, and you really feel like you probably should have won at least one of those. Well, specifically one, right? So it's just stuff that those young kids they can build on and they should build on, and excited for the future and for the seniors. A lot of really good players got the pleasure of coaching, for one season, and then with a lot of those guys, like you laid the groundwork. And
Yeah.
that's not always the most fun thing to be a part of. It's way more fun to be a part of the team that gets to go into the playoffs and play, that third place team or win a couple playoff games. But sometimes you have to be the person that laid the groundwork. That was something that I went through, so I get it. And you just keep building.
Do you have any guys that are going to play certain spots?
There's a kid. If he really, really wants to, he could play like a wide receiver or corner position. I haven't talked to him recently. Last time I talked to him, it sounded like he still wanted to. So if he still wants to, I mean, that's out there for him if he wants. He's got the size, he's got the speed. It might not be quite at the level that he thinks or that he wants to be at, but I played D2. There's nothing wrong with D2 ball. And then there's a couple other kids where if they want to, they can as well. If they want to go a junior college route or if they want to go to a D3 school, hey man, that's good football too. So
And at the very least, it could be a stepping stone.
Right. Well, and I don't know. I'm always a big believer in I'm gonna play until I can't anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure, no offense to anyone's men's league game, but I'm sure that's a lot of fun for you, but there
it's nowhere near
right when
legit.
When it counts. That's what means the most. I mean, shoot, I'm not that far removed. I'm what, a year and a half removed from playing ball, and now I go to the gym, and if I have an extra half scoop of pre-workout, I feel like I'm about ready to run through the tunnel again, or at least the closest I'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's like a leg day on a Tuesday at the Vancouver Crunch.
Not quite the same.
No. And there's a lot more stares of what's wrong with this dude?
Yeah. His face is really red.
Why is that dude dancing around in just his socks and short and t-shirt? But
at least you're not at a Planet Fitness. Otherwise, that alarm would be going crazy.
Oh, they wouldn't even let me get in. There's no way they'd even let me buy the membership. They know.
Sure, you can't walk in there with a weightlifting belt.
The Belunker alarm would go off immediately.
Right.
But, sir, no. Wait, hold on. You really like Attitude Era Wrestling? No, you can't come in here. You're going to DX chop everyone.
What, their weights only go up to 50s? Maybe 60s?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm running into a similar problem right now at the Crunch. We need to get some bigger dumbbells. That's my only complaint. I love the price.
Or you might have to join the Golds.
No, I'm not paying $30 when I could pay 10.
Yeah, true.
No, maybe I'll have to start bringing my own dumbbells from home. There you go. It's bench day. Where'd you get those dumbbells? Oh, I brought these from home.
There's Will just putting his 120s back in the trunk as he leaves.
Yeah. Oh, Will brought the big bag today. He must have the 120s and the 130s in there. Yeah. That's about the biggest D-bag thing I'm gonna say all day. So there we go. I'm cool with that. Shoot, man. I would have thought Arizona would have done better than this.
Yeah, I mean, you have a bullpen day. you don't expect to just lose the game outright, but they're just mashing. And really, it's the Simeon and Seager show today. Simeon came into the game like batting below 200 in the postseason. Now he's 2 for 3 with a triple and home run. Corey Seager with a home run. Them combined 7 RBIs.
Right. Well, and like the brutal thing is, I feel dumb now after having said it, but at the time I felt so smart. Where it's like the way Arizona plays, like they're always gonna have guys on, they're always gonna be able to score. But the way Texas plays, like you have to hope everyone stays hot. Well, if everyone stays hot, you mash. So,
and this is without Adolis, and he's out the rest of the World Series.
Yeah, what happened?
He took a swing yesterday. He flew out, and Josh Young to the warning track. He flew out yesterday, and he was grabbing at his oblique. So just precautionary, I guess. Same thing with Max Scherzer. It was his back, I believe.
The Scherzer thing didn't shock me. It's not like he was doing much when he was playing. But,
yeah. Now, I mean, you got Eovaldi tomorrow night. You get this win here. You're up 3-1. Eovaldi tomorrow night. That seals the deal.
I don't know. That dude shoves. And in the postseason, you need dudes who shove. So,
and then you have Heaney. If he goes 7 innings tonight, because you got a 10-run lead, just let him go until his arm falls off. He's got an entire postseason to recover, basically. And then you got the entire bullpen ready to go for tomorrow if there's any trouble.
Right. Well, that's 100%. Like, just have your starter. He gets a full game. Like, well, like, guess what? You'll come out of the bullpen game 6 or 7 if we get there. Like, just throw until your arm falls off.
He's at 48 pitches right now, starting the 4th.
Yeah, throw until your arm falls off. Unless he gets to a 140. Point. Yeah, like unless he's at like 150 in the 7th, like just your arm falls off today, dude. Like it is what it is. Like it's not gonna end your career.
You're earning your paycheck right now.
100%. 100%.
And you're earning that ring. I mean,
right. Nothing better. Oh yeah, if you hear any knocks on the door, Halloween trick or treaters.
Yeah, we just put our baskets out on the front porch. It's like, all right.
No, we just got our first one. That's they're coming around.
Are you in a neighborhood then?
Yeah, same one I grew up in.
Okay.
So, although when I was growing up, I was like the old one. There was like no trick or treaters because I was like the oldest one. Everyone else was like just having their kids.
You're 17 years old. You're dressed up as a football player. You're like, give me candy.
Yeah, believe it or not a big Halloween guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know that defeats the purpose, but by the time I got to middle school, I realized I could just go buy the bag of candy. And so I would get someone to take me to go buy the big bag of candy, and we'd just deal with it from there. It was like the ultimate fat kid move.
What's your favorite candy?
Dude, you know what? I was thinking about this. Okay, so I'm an M&M's guy. Like, that's my number one. That's just like
just regular.
It is what it is. Oh yeah,
really?
That's the Ortner family. Like, that's what you do when you do something good. Like, that's how like everyone got potty trained. Like, that's just like, oh, you went in the bathroom, you went in the toilet. Here's some M&M's. But I'll tell you what, the candy that I think everyone's sleeping on, because I did steal one earlier, 1,000 grand bar or 100 grand bar, whatever. It is. Yeah, 100 grand.
Yeah.
100 grand is crispy. Fire. Yeah. It's got a little bit extra than your Milky Way. It's top tier. All about it.
I haven't had one of those in a while, but when I have, yeah, I would say that those are good also.
Right, because you don't, like, if you go to the store, you're like, well, I'll get like, a Snickers or Three Musketeers, whatever.
That's never one of the ones that comes to mind, like, oh, I should get that.
No. Also,
you have to have it in your bag of candy, basically, that you got from trick-or-treating.
Right, and I never see them big. Like, I only see the small ones. You never come out and you're like, oh, sweet, I got a big 100 grand bar.
This one's just a 10 grand bar.
Right. The 100 million bar. But yeah, dude, I think it's slept on. I stole one today. I'm not above it, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Yep.
I will take candy. And if there's extra candy left here, I will eat it.
Mm-hmm. I had to make sure all the Reese's were out of the bags before we put them out there.
No, yeah, can't let the Reese's get out.
Yeah.
You know what? Slept on? Have you had a s'more, a Reese's s'more?
I don't think I have. Reese's s'more. I've had like the Reese's white chocolate.
No.
Not
So
a s'more.
when you make a s'more, instead of doing it with
graham
Hershey's,
crackers. Instead of Hershey's. Okay, gotcha.
Oh, that's an ultimate fat guy move. To go chocolate on chocolate.
Reese's chocolate marshmallow.
That's
now I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, no. Instead of the Hershey's, put the Reese's on there with the graham crackers. Dude, so good, so good.
That sounds good.
Get a little bit of that peanut butter chocolate. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. Let's see. The Diamondbacks might be able to score here.
Yeah, man. I've got the game up. I know you can't like totally have the game up, but I'm watching. I make sure it's not on the stream. I made sure the volume's down.
Yeah.
I'm watching it right now, and hey, man, maybe something brews a little bit.
Yeah, I've got it on another screen. Tommy Pham coming up.
I was like, Pham's up. I don't know.
No Alex guy in second and third.
Maybe not. We'll see. Yeah.
And the Diamondbacks put up a 7 spot here.
That'd be so funny. Like we just went on this whole thing about throw Heaney till his arm falls off.
Dude, you better bet. You better live bet Diamondbacks at like plus 5,000 right now for this game.
Dude, if I could in Washington, shoot. That's my problem. I'm not diving into the offshore. I'm still scared.
Yeah.
Like I don't think they're gonna come get me for my $5 bets on whatever offshore site you use or what other people use, but I still can't pull the trigger. I'm soft.
Oh yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, that'd be something like, why did Will go to prison for 5 years? Offshore betting. It was that Arizona Diamondbacks Kraken World.
The friggin' Diamondbacks, they came back down 10, and I got to pay out.
I had a $5 bet for $5 million.
Yeah, seriously.
I went straight to prison.
Yeah, straight to jail. Right to jail.
We've got to stop these gamblers. Stop the sports gamblers while we can. Oh, yeah, that was dumb on Pham's part.
Actually, let me do this.
Oh, my head. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to go to my cable now so that it'll be live.
Okay, I was going to say, my bad.
Because Dylan was behind, so I had to go back with him.
Need to change? He's figuring out well, it's like California Wi-Fi, dude.
Yeah, California Wi-Fi.
Isn't he in San Diego?
Yeah, he's in solar sales.
Oh, smart place to do it. Better than Alaska, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're not running out of sun down there.
No, they're not. It's constantly sunny. I'm jealous. It's like wind farming in like eastern Washington, eastern Oregon.
Tommy Pham struck out. There we go.
Yeah. Well, I just watched it. I don't know. I know it's easier said than done, but every once in a while, like you'll see a pitch right down the middle, and you're just like, "What are you doing?" Like it's right there.
Like swing at that, hit a home run.
Yeah. Why don't they just hit a home run?
I totally would have hit a home run right there.
I know I never did ever.
Yeah, I honestly never have in a game.
Really?
That's the only reason I still play adult league baseball is because I think that I'll piece it up one day and it'll fly over the fence, but not yet.
Dude, that's how I want to be in softball. Also, I want the excuse of like, I ran to first. I probably earned a beer. Those are my main beliefs in trying to play like beer league softball. But I'll tell you what, I do think I hold the record for most little league home runs robbed. I think no one else has more than me. I have like
you just
4.
gotta stand next to the fence and just raise your arm.
No. People rob me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks.
Yeah.
Not as fun as robbing them.
Yeah. No, I wasn't getting back to the fence in time. I played O-line. I was at first. I was at first for a reason. No, dude, I had like 4. I remember one was like I hit it and it would have extended a game. Dude's on the fence, reaches his arm over because you know how it is. Like Little League, it's all fencing that's up to like a Little Leaguer's hip, maybe mid stomach, you know, and they just run over, boop, caught.
Yeah.
I had one, and I counted as a rob, but it wasn't really. So during the normal season, we're playing in Little League State. I played at Glenwood Little League, shout out. And we went to state, right? So we're playing in the state tournament for majors, and we're playing some team from like some Amish or something. And we're playing out in Elma. And Elma had in all the fields they have this big like 10-foot fence, and they have this little 5-foot fence. And the 10-foot fence is right behind the 5-foot fence. And the 5-foot fence is all green. It's got the numbers, you know, whatever. And we learn as we showed up. So during the normal season, that 5-foot fence was the home run fence. And then because they knew they were going to host state, they built the 10-foot fence so that there wouldn't be quite as many home runs because it was it was like 200 all the way around instead of like 225 like most places are. My like first at bat, I drilled the like
The top of it.
third of that 10-foot fence. It would have been my only home run
Not
ever.
today. Yeah.
Smoked it. No one's hit that thing harder. I think the thing almost fell over. I hit it that hard. Like, you got to be kidding. And we were up by like 30, you know? And so
Need some insurance runs.
Well, bases are juiced, and we're up by like 30, so I hit the thing, and everyone has to stop. So I have like the longest single in Little League too. No, as big as I was not dynamic in my hips or my core. I wasn't hitting too many long balls.
Yeah.
I had to really get a hold of it. Yeah.
I've always been a line drive guy. Contact.
Really?
Yeah. But
I was a bloop single guy.
Yeah, bloop single. I had a lot of broken bat infield singles. My parents hate that I keep breaking my bat, but it is what it is.
I had a lot of like, here's the ball, just throw your hands at it. And if I use only my upper body, I'm strong enough to get it out of the infield, but not too strong that it'll get to the outfielder. They will all see me come to the plate as the 5-hitter and go, oh, we should back up. And it's like, oh, that's why he's on JV.
Because they're standing by the fence. They're
like, oh, this dude's probably going to hit it to the warning track. And then I slap bunt it into the outfield. The bummer is I wasn't fast, though, either. It's like, we've got our slowest guy, but he's our best slap bunter. They'll never see it coming.
Let's see here. Yeah, 10-1 now. Any big matchups coming this weekend? I'm going to take a look at the football right now.
College football? Yeah, there is. It should be USC UW.
I mean, is that even a matchup anymore?
Here's the thing. I'm never going to vote USC out. And UW hasn't looked great ever since they played Oregon.
They haven't.
I mean,
Arizona State.
Right. Well, and this is the ultimate, like, UW get back. Michael Penix just shows everyone why he's, the top Heisman candidate and all that stuff. But we'll see. The college football, like the first official college football rankings came out. So you've got Ohio State at number 1, which that's insane. You're just not watching football if you think they're the number 1 team. And I know they're going off their strength of schedule, but if they barely beat Notre Dame, which that win looks less and less every single week, and they beat Penn State, which I think that truly exposed what Drew Aller and that team is. And look, I was drinking the Drew Aller Kool-Aid. I was all in on it. I was all about it. I think that just exposed them. Like, their defense is unreal at Ohio State, but their offense isn't there. And then Georgia's the number 2 team. I get it. They wouldn't be my 2 team. They would be my 2 team, but they wouldn't be my 1 team. My 1 team would be Michigan. Michigan has just gone in and beat the brakes off everybody, dude.
Yeah.
McCarthy looks legit. Corum has just been running all over people, and then defensively, they just beat the hell out of you. So for me, that would be I would flip them and Ohio State, and honestly, I would put Florida State ahead of Ohio State too. Like, Ohio State for me would be like the 4, maybe the 5, like, because right now you've got UW and Oregon at 5-6.
Yeah.
Florida State has a legit schedule that they've beaten. The problem is Clemson keeps losing, so Clemson now doesn't look like a win. If they're going to play North Carolina in the championship game, that looks like less of a big deal now that North Carolina fell off. They're going to have to play Miami still at some point, I believe. That looks like less of a game. But LSU, like, if LSU goes in and beats Alabama, all of a sudden that pumps up, so then that pumps up Florida State's rankings too. So, there's a reason it's the initial and you kind of have to chill out on it. But, I still don't see how a 1-loss Pac-12 team doesn't make it, just because there are so many big games that still have to happen.
So is the playoffs this year only 4 teams?
This is the last 4-year team.
Okay, yeah, because it shows just the big 4 teams
year.
up top.
Yep. Yeah. The 12 is
it's moving to 12.
Year. 12.
Dang.
Which
okay.
The irony is, this is the year I think would be the best for the 12, because I don't think there's a whole lot of separation, especially with Brock Bowers getting hurt with Georgia. I mean, Georgia really hasn't played anybody. Michigan hasn't played anybody, but they're going to obviously have to play Penn State and Ohio State. I think that this would be the year where I'd want 12, because I think you can make a legit argument for any of those 4 teams to win. I think you can make a legit argument for Oregon or UW to win. I think you can make a legit argument for Texas to win. So you start going down the list and you start going down the rankings, and it's like, holy crap, there are some pretty freaking good teams on here that, you start getting into 7, 8, 9, where you're like, they could actually win. Where most years it's like, dude, 2 or 3 teams can win it and that's it. Everyone else is just hanging out for fun. So that would be, it's a bummer that this year is still a 4-team year.
Yeah, let me pull this up.
Yeah.
So Caleb Williams, you think he goes probably 1 still, or first quarter at least? And then do you think Penix is top 10?
I think it would depend on who's there. I would think it would depend on who's there. I would think Penix, barring a major injury, he's probably earned himself a first-round grab.
Sure.
But when you look at it, Caleb Williams can make all the throws, but he can also make the crazy plays. This USC team has 2 losses right now. They should have 4. They should be 4-4. They're not good.
Yeah.
They have talent, but they're not well coached. And then defensively, like, last year's defense was bad. They're horrific this year because they're not getting the turnovers that they used to get. Cal put up 49. Cal should have won.
On USC?
Yes.
Jeez, that's insane.
Arizona should have won. Arizona was up 17-0.
Yeah.
So you have these teams where it's just like, how did you win that game? Well, you won it because Caleb Williams is the best player on the planet right now. He's had 3 years now where he's played in college, basically 2 full years, because he came in halfway and we're a little over halfway done with this season. Dude, he pulled so many games out of nowhere that they didn't deserve to win, that he pulled out like he shouldn't have. And then, he's had 1 bad game. In that entire time, he's had 1 game where you went, he didn't look that good. Like, as good as Michael Penix has been this year, you've had times where you went, Michael Penix didn't look that good in that game or this game, right? I mean, Bo Nix, Bo Nix, for the most part, this season has looked very, very polished. Last year, he had a bunch of games where he looked good, but he had 2 or 3 where it was like, yo, what's going on there with Bo? And then that's not even getting into his first 2 seasons. So, first 3 over at Auburn, right? So you start going through those lists and you start going through those quarterbacks. I mean, Jordan Travis has games where he doesn't look great. Jaden Daniels has games where he doesn't look great. So to have, this body of work where you've played, around 30 games, and in those 30 games you've had one where you haven't looked amazing, that tells me something. And then Drake May is going to be good too. I think Drake May is awesome. He's just your more prototypical QB. I think that Caleb Williams can be that generational guy.
Yeah. Yeah, going to be a huge quarterback class. Those 3 Pac-12 guys. And then
right.
Is DJ a senior?
I think DJ
junior?
leaves. I think he goes in. At minimum, he leaves Oregon State. That Aiden Giles kid is legit. He's so legit, and you're not gonna not start him next year. He's that good.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Did you say was he a 5-star or 4-star, something like that?
I think he's a 4-star, but here's the thing about him is I don't know if he reclassified or if he's just a young kid. He just turned 18 in the middle of this season. So if you really think about it, he should be a senior this year. If he was a senior this year, he's probably the number 1 overall recruit. Like, he is that good. And I might be a little bit high
6'3",
on him.
200.
Right. But he's smart with the football. And you could see it last year. Like, there were guys who were ranked above him in those, like, Army All-American games and stuff like that, where he looked better than them. And it with a lot of those, like, recruiting coordinators and a lot of those, recruiting journalists, right, the specialists, they were shocked at, how well he was doing until they, kind of looked at it and they were like, oh, he still has room to grow, like make big jumps because of how young he is, right? Like, if you've ever been a big weightlifter, I know both you and I are. When you're in high school, dude, half the time you're not even doing the lifts correctly. Your form's crap.
In high school, I was doing curls and bench press every day. It's like I didn't know what I was doing.
Right, and you're not following a proper nutrition. Like, you're doing that and going and smacking T-bell or whatever. But you're still making these huge leaps and gains, every single week. You can see the muscle. You can see the muscle mass completely change in a person in 2 or 3 months. Where for now, and I'm not going to say that we're like inexperienced lifters. We're not professional, but we know what we're doing. We wouldn't go in there and bench press and curl every day, like you said.
Yeah,
but
right.
we have a pretty good idea of what we're doing. It'd take us a whole year to make that amount of gain. And I think at points you see that a little bit with him, especially if he is a late bloomer. There are guys, that they don't stop growing or stop maturing until they're 21, 22.
So
I know I was that way. So maybe he's that way too.
I haven't looked into him at all. What's his play style like? Is he a pocket passer? Is he a scrambler, dual threat guy?
So he's going to have more athleticism. A good comparison, a good fair comparison would probably be close-ish to Bo Nix.
It's like a game manager.
No, because and Bo gets the game manager tag on him a little bit because he believes a lot in those air raid principles of, like, it doesn't matter what defense you're running. I'm just going to take the guy who's open. If that's the guy who's, running a swing pass or a slant, I'm going to do that. If it's the guy who's running deep, I'm going to do that. But what I'm saying is, like, it's going to be a similar speed. He's quick like that. He's shifty like that, but he's smart with the football. And he can make all the throws. I mean, if you watch an Oregon State game right now, he's getting 1 or 2 drives a game, as backup. Who does that? No one does that. But they're doing that because they know what he's going to be. And that's what I fully believe. Oregon State got a kid because he was 16 when everyone else was 17, or he was 14 when everyone else was 15. And so they got him, and they got him to commit. And he's this, from what everyone tells me, he's this great kid who comes from this great family. Everything, is buttoned up a certain way. Like I work
So
with
they just kind of
Andrew
lucked out with
Nemec.
that.
Yeah, well, it's like I work with Andrew Nemec, and Nemec said that he, had a phone call with those guys, and Aiden ended up missing it or something along those lines. But immediately it was like mom calls, to apologize. He calls to apologize, and it's like you just missed a phone call. Like it's really not that big of a deal. But that's how good his family is. That's how good he is, and what a pro he is. And to be a pro like that at 17, 18 years old, that's pretty damn impressive. Like,
Yeah.
he's gonna be a star. And I think DJU. A lot of people give DJU a lot of crap. He's a better quarterback than people give him credit for. They just view him as a worse quarterback because he came in as the number 1 5-star in his class. So everyone's like, well, he should be this great guy. And he's not. He's more of a pretty good QB. He's just never going to be that tier 1 college QB. He's going to be a tier 2, tier 3 guy.
Yeah.
If he came in as a 4-star, everyone would be like, wow, I love DJU. Came in as the number 1 5-star.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all about perspective and living up to expectations and all that.
That's why you gotta keep them low, man.
Huh?
Gotta keep those expectations
keep your expectations low.
Keep them low, and I'll find a way to get over that bar. I might be tripping over it, but I'll get over it.
All I have to do is just do a little hop.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Diamondbacks not coming back yet. They were, Corbin Carroll just grounded out to end the inning. Heading into the 6th now, down 10-1.
Yep, you're putting yourself in a spot here. You're putting yourself in a spot. But I mean, I don't know. Is there a spot where you can find some solace in saying like, hey, at least we got there?
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that you didn't expect to be in this position. That's for sure. And also at the same, if they go down 3-1, it's all but over. But at the same time, the Phillies were a train that cannot be stopped, and then they stopped them the last few games. So one more game in Arizona tomorrow. They have Zach Gallen, their ace on the mound, going up against Eovaldi, who's the Rangers ace. So they have a shot tomorrow to be competitive.
Right. Does it then hit into the Red Sox in 2004? Like, don't let this person win or let that person. Like, if we win this one, look at how we run or look at how it runs.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, super promising for the franchise as a whole. That's for sure.
Yeah, just got to keep everybody. Got to find a way to make sure everyone stays. But it's also kind of the same thing as what happened with, the Phillies. Like, you blew a tough one in game 1 that you should have won. That kind of then puts you in a difficult spot the rest of the way. They're doing the stand up to cancer thing right now. And I forgot that we did this. It's completely taken my whole attention.
Yeah.
I'm just confused on why they don't do it at the start.
And it's not like the 7th inning stretch either.
Right. I mean, it's a cool thing. Like, I enjoy it. It's a cool thing. I'm assuming that you then donate money to a cancer research thing is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here we go.
MasterCard.
Yeah. So they have this big donate thing to stand up to cancer. It's just an interesting time. Maybe it's like, hey, this is like when the most viewers are there, because you would want this to be in front of the most eyeballs.
That's definitely possible. Yeah, that's where it's like it's the 5th inning. I would have thought it would be like the 7th inning stretch or something, but
right, or at the beginning.
I guess it's technically like halfway point. End of the 5th inning.
I guess. Although I will tell you what, I have a hard time seeing it and not thinking of the Bill Burr bit.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I'm not going into it on here. That's you find that on your own. You do a little YouTube video on that.
Yeah.
It's obviously he's joking. Just very clear about that. Obviously he's joking. But yeah,
Best NFL throwback uniform.
I gotta go with my Seattle Seahawks, dude. To see that come out,
That's the
it's
only answer.
fantastic. Right. Well, and like, don't get me wrong, the Houston ones are filthy, but
The Tennessee Titans.
They've been sullied because they are the Houston Oilers. They should belong with Houston, not Tennessee. And then the worst part is Houston, the college was then like, well, we'll do a similar, get up. And they're getting cease and desist letters from the Titans.
Are they?
Like, yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. So it's like, hold on. Not only do you steal the team, you steal the color palette too.
It's the same thing like the Seattle Pilots.
Yeah.
The Pilots go to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Brewers now. And then both teams have been wearing the Pilots throwbacks at separate times.
Yeah, and that's Bush. It'd be like if OKC rolled out the Sonics unis.
Exactly.
I don't think, to my knowledge, they've ever done it.
No.
That's the right thing. Like, get the team.
There would be riots in Seattle if that happened.
Right. But like, you get the team, you don't get everything else. That's Bush.
Yeah.
You steal the team. That's like, it's literally breaking up with someone and getting the dog. Like, that's not fair. Like, I bought the dog first. I had the dog. You don't get to take my dog.
Yeah.
Like, if we bought the dog together, then we can have a conversation about that, visiting rights, who makes more money, who's a better neighborhood, what are the schools like for the dog. But
come hang out with the good boy.
Yeah, like if I bought the dog, we start dating, you break up with me, you don't take my dog.
Right.
You don't take my dog to Baltimore. And then name him Raven.
No, but yeah, I really hope that the Seahawks wear their throwbacks more often.
I think they're getting one more this year. I think we're getting one more where they're going to wear it. It's nice that the NFL finally gave up that rule, because the NFL had a rule where like you could only have one helmet. It's like, that's Bush. Like colleges do it all the time. Some high schools that have money do it all the time. Like, come on now. You can have multiple helmets. It's okay. I do like the Kelly Greens. I love the Kelly Greens in Philly.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that the Eagles?
I like the Kelly Greens.
Yeah.
It's not Seattle, but it's a nice little uni. I do love the Dolphins throwbacks because they're basically the exact same. It's like, oh, hey, look at our throwbacks. What changed? Like, I didn't know they were
Dolphins wearing a helmet.
Yeah, had no idea. Now, if they wanted to bring the throwback, wear the orange, the all orange. Those are sweet. The Ricky Williams.
So is the rule only 2 helmets now, or is it 2? Like, could they use that same helmet and then wear different, tops? Could they go away with the throwbacks?
So that's the thing I don't know. Like, Madden lies to you. So like Madden tells you,
let you
like,
do whatever you want.
Right. And that's not how the NFL works. So you have your home, your away. I know they used to do like an alternate and a color rush. So that's why the Seahawks had the wolf grays, or those weird ones that were like blue but green in the middle. And the whole reason the Seahawks never wore the throwbacks is they could wear the throwbacks, but they couldn't do the helmet. So there were teams that were able to do their throwbacks because the helmet never changed. But because you had to change the helmet for the Seahawks, that's why they never did it. And so now that you can change the helmet, they've decided to start doing that, which, I appreciate. They're awesome. I would like it better if they won by more. I'd really appreciate them not jumping out to a 17-point lead, then finding a way to basically screw themselves over all the way until they won it at the very end. My heart and eventually my cardio doctor would appreciate that, but we'll just keep winning. First in the
Browns
West.
defense is good, but yeah, first in the NFC West, and they just traded for Leonard Williams.
I
what
like
do you know
that.
about him?
Oh, they're gonna put him at the 3. He'll be like a bigger. They'll let him go at end a little bit, but he's there to work with Reed, and that's like where you were missing. That's why everyone wanted Jalen Carter. Everyone wanted Jalen Carter in the draft because that's a major position of need. Now, Jaron Reed and that crew in the middle, they've done well this year. Don't get me wrong. It's much improved from last year, but if you have an opportunity to strengthen it where you're really only giving up one pick, do it. Because you trade a second and a fifth, but you get a third round compensatory pick back. So really, you can make the argument you really only traded him for a fifth. That trade makes sense in my eyes. I love that trade. And it's in a big position of need. I remember at the time being surprised that they took Spoon. Not that I didn't think he was good. It was just like, well, you already have Tyreek Woolen. I see now why you took Spoon. And the thing with Spoon, he didn't have the worries that Carter had. Now, Carter's been great, and it seems like those worries are unfounded, at least right now.
What are his worries? Injury or other stuff?
No, it was off the field stuff. It was,
okay.
How much did he truly love it? He was, I got to be careful. I believe he was involved in that car wreck where the Georgia player and the Georgia staffer died. Like he was racing his car next to them, I believe.
Gotcha.
I believe that's what the race was and why they were going so fast.
Dang. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's screwed up, but that's how pro teams and especially the NFL think about people, where it's like, oh, he had this horrible tragedy, where his friends died and he went through all this. Well, let's see how well he works out now. And it's like, okay, like we can't give the guy a break for this horrible tragedy. We have to immediately be like, well, let's see how he fights through this adversity at 21. But I like Spoon, and then you get the addition of Leonard. It feels
Looks like he's
you've
under
really
contract
completed.
through 24.
Right, and you're not paying him crap this year. You're only paying him $600K.
Yeah,
because the Giants covered everything else. So you basically get him for the next 2 years, and you're not paying him that much. And he shores up a position of drastic need. You almost feel complete.
Seahawks are going to be a team to watch. I mean, we'll see if Geno can carry them the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's the one issue that I have right now. I've never been a huge Geno guy.
It seems that him and Metcalf are not on the same page a lot of the time. It's like when he's throwing it to Metcalf, they just haven't lined up really.
There's a lot of things that he did really great last year. Not turning the ball over wise, that the last 3 weeks have really worried me. And now not all of them are his fault, but still they give me pause. It's something that I pay attention to where I go, that's worrisome. That's something that could be a big deal later on. He's had multiple turnovers now in 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
And then in the last 2 weeks, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's back-to-back weeks where he's had multiple turnovers. He had a couple interceptions in this one. Now, the one is an incredible play by a D tackle that.
Oh, that's right. That was insane.
He makes one once in his career.
But then there's that one before the half.
Right. And it's just after you make a huge play. And you got to put that ball in a spot where only your guy can make the play. You have to. And if you see a guy sitting back like that, you can't throw that ball. He's in the perfect spot to run downhill if DK isn't having to reach all the way out like this. He is in the perfect spot to run downhill and make that interception. And you just can't have that because it almost costs you the game. You know, if you don't have a header off Jamal Adams, get the interception, and then have three big plays right away, you know, you would have been going for the tie with the field goal if they don't throw an interception there and they punt. You don't have enough time. You're probably not getting in the end zone. You're probably playing for the field goal, and then you're going to OT, and who knows what happens. But if you're smart with the football there, you kick the field goal. It doesn't matter if they punt it back to you in that spot or, you know, you get that interception. You win with anything. But because of the way you played it, it's like, oh, well, now, you know, do we play for the tie or do we be a little more aggressive? You know, thankfully you were a little more aggressive, but you know, there's just things that with the Seahawks at times, like I love, but I also struggle with.
Yeah.
I would like to get Charbonnet the ball more. The problem is you have to keep getting K9 his touches. But I think when Charbonnet gets the ball, like he shows you what a big difference he can make. I would like to see him get the ball more on 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3s. You know, like let's get him running downhill and see what happens because he runs over people. He is physical.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like at times they almost get a little too sweet on 3rd and you know, shorts, where it's like the one that I think of is like you had 3rd and 2 and you had like Noah Fant run a little pop out route. You had your 3 tight ends, you had Disley, Parkey or Parkinson, whatever his name is, and you've got Fant, and only one of them runs a route, and then you have a wide receiver on the opposite side who runs a deep route. And it's like, it's 3rd and 2. Why are we only having 2 guys run a route? You know, like let's have 3 or 4. And if you are going to do that play on 2nd down, where you have the deep shot, you have the short check down. If neither are there, throw it away. You know? But maybe the coaches are seeing something that, you know, I wouldn't see, but I just don't like the play call there. I would prefer, you know, hey, let's run slants, let's run hitches, like let's get multiple guys out in routes, and you know, let's use Charbonnet more, let's use Noah Fant more. Those 2 guys, I think, when you get them the ball and you get them the ball in space, they have shown that they deserve those opportunities and that they've played well in those opportunities. So those are my hates, but my loves, like I love this defense. It feels like it's Legion of Boom. Boye Mafe has been seriously awesome. And it's not that he's just getting schemed open. He's winning one-on-ones. He's going out there and beating people. 5 sacks 5 weeks in a row. So 1 sack every single week. That's fantastic. That's only going to open up more as you get Frank Clark back into this system, get him more playing time. Darrell Taylor, I feel like, has looked awesome. So now you've got a 3-way rotation there, which you know is what that Carroll likes. He likes to have a little more depth on the edge. And then in the middle, you now have Jaron Reed and you've got Leonard who can get after the quarterback. Plus, you're telling me you can still throw Bobby, you can throw Brooks, you can throw Spoon when he's in at nickel, you can throw Jamal Adams in on these blitz packages if you want to scheme something up. So I love what Coach Hurt and that defense has been doing. And, you know, it feels like old school, you know, Legion of Boom Seahawks.
Yeah, it really does.
Your defense is your strength again. And then offensively, like as much as I'm complaining about Geno, like he still puts you in positions to win and has won, you know?
Right.
K9 has done well. JSN has looked good the last couple of weeks. I like the emergence there. I think Bobo. What a find. What a find.
I'm making a player profile on him tomorrow.
Oh, dude, that's going to be fantastic. I mean, if he doesn't run a 4.9, he's way more highly thought of. But because he ran a 4.9, no one thinks anything of him. And then you see him out on the field in pads, and it's like he might be the first person that got faster in pads.
It's funny because I'm going to start out the video with him. There's an interview that I watched yesterday. They were like, you know, you ran like a 4.99. Are you faster than that? And he's like, I mean, no, I'm not. He's like, if I get inspiration from someone, it's not because I'm fast. It's because I did like the moves at the line to get that separation.
Right.
So but he seems like a class act. I mean, he's just happy to be there, and he's fighting for just any role on the team.
Dude, he's earned it. I mean,
Yeah.
I think there's a legit. There
Those
are
catches
times
in
when
the back of the end zone, tiptoeing.
Right, or to run the jet sweep, and not because of his speed, but his ability to read and go, oh hey, I need to dive in here. He cut that sweep short, but it was because he had to. But the hole was there, and he found a way to get in. Right, So for me, that's just a workhorse. That's a guy who fights and works his butt off. And there are going to be times now, and with the emergence of JSN, where you have this great fight of like who gets to be the three. It's like awesome. You have two guys who have two completely different styles who do these things great that you get to now have a debate on. Like, do we want JSN here as our slot wide receiver, or do we want Bobo in here and we move Tyler in, or do we have Bobo in the slot? Or when we go for wide receivers, how do we do this? How do we do that? It's a great problem to have. You have four wide receivers and they all do everything slightly different. But they all complement each other. And even, JSN and Tyler, they're as similar as any in that group. It's still slightly different. Tyler is possession. JSN will outrun people and run through people and run past people. The ability to keep his feet in bounds on that touchdown play to win the game, that wasn't easy. And then to see guys like DK and Bobo put their bodies on the line and act like they block, and you can tell they want to block and want to be good at blocking. That's huge. That's just huge at that wide receiver position. So I love the Seahawks. I'm getting a little too much fanny on it, where I think we're the second best team in the NFC, probably more like the third or fourth. But right now, I mean, until Trent Williams and Debo come back, Seahawks have proven that they're I feel like they're in a better spot.
I like to hear that.
Yeah, your schedule gets tough though.
Let me take a look.
Well, you've got Baltimore in there somewhere still to come. You have a run where I think you go Dallas, San Fran. No, you go like San Fran, Dallas, San Fran, or something like that. You have back-to-back Thursday games this year. You play on Thanksgiving and you're the Thursday night the next week.
Dang.
Yeah.
Got Ravens versus Commanders, at Rams versus 49ers, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Niners, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles.
That's a month. Month.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that highly of Dallas. Like, I think they're good, but again, I think when they play top teams, they struggle.
I'm excited to see our defense go up against Dallas because they can put up some points, but our defense shut them down.
Right. Well, and then the other thing that's fun too is, with this Seahawks team is, I mean, you can make the argument you really should have beat Cincinnati. You really should have one loss. You should be in the conversation as that top team. Now, I do still think, like, if you're a wild card team, that's not the end of the world. If San Fran, they get Trent Williams back and they get Debo, and all of a sudden Chase Young looks like his rookie year self again, dude. Chase Young opposite Nick
Bosa and Young
for a third. But he hasn't looked the same since his ACL. So it's like, what Chase Young do you get? But sometimes that change of scenery can be all that you need. So, it still wouldn't shock me if they don't win the West. Like I said, I consider them, right now I think of them, it's like Eagles, then Seahawks, or maybe Detroit or San Fran, but it would not shock me if, we look back at this in 2 months when the playoffs are starting and it's like, oh, it's Philly, San Fran, Detroit, Seattle, and if that's the case, then it's like, well, you're a wild card team because one of the teams above you is in your division. So,
speaking of the worst secondary uniforms, well, speaking of the Lions, did you see their secondary uniforms yesterday?
No, I didn't watch much.
Yeah, you should check them out. They're pretty awful.
I was gonna say they should their secondary uniform should always just be the Thanksgiving ones. Just put the silver on, put the light blue, and then just get after it. I'll tell you what. Yeah, I can't bring myself to watch the Raiders. I mean I will, but God, they suck. They're just so bad.
Yeah. I didn't watch the game last night, but I heard the agony in my fantasy football chat.
Right. Well, it's like you have Devontae Adams, who, when you made the trade for him, he was the best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't feel like he's taken a step back, but you can't get the ball to the guy. And then you won't trade him. You outright, I won't trade him. But you traded away the reason that he went there in the first place. The whole reason he wanted to go there was to play with his old buddy. And honestly, you looked pretty decent when it was those two together. And you run him out of town. Like, it's just ridiculous.
So I'll share my screen here.
Apparently, we're having quite the commotion. Someone brought a real goat.
A real ghost or goat,
Goat.
you said?
Or like a goat. Yeah, some little girl brought a goat.
That's
Only in
funny.
Hawkinson, baby.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah, that sucks.
Standalone, the helmets are right, but the combo with the uniform that they wore yesterday, I got to find it.
Yeah.
Throwback. Let me see.
Well, I think we're chasing someone down to go get a picture of the goat. That's what I'm hearing. Tom Brady was here?
Tom Brady. Oh my gosh.
I miss Tom Brady.
Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not.
That just looks weird.
Yeah, I'm not. Well, it's also not. It's not Detroit. Like, that's not. Like, that's not Detroit. Everyone knows what Detroit looks like. That's not what Detroit looks like.
Detroit?
Detroit?
What's that?
Detroit?
Oh. Detroit.
Detroit. I think that's the French-Canadian way of saying it. Detroit.
There you go. Okay.
In Quebec. Montreal.
Let's see. I think I'm gonna hop off after the 7th.
Fair enough, man. I'm glad I was able to hop on at least for a little bit. It's a bummer it wasn't any closer.
Yeah, I mean, by the second, third inning, game over.
Right.
It's not firing.
Right.
But,
well, at least we got a little bit of the college football in, so then people won't be missing the college football pod.
Yeah. I'm curious how many people actually are tuning into that each week, but it's all about consistency.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at the numbers, but I always thought they were decent. But
yeah, I mean,
at least the shorter.
Yeah, the chunks for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, a few hundred views each week.
Yeah, it's not bad for a 10-minute. It's not bad for a 10-minute one.
Yeah.
And just keep grinding through it.
For sure. Just get reps.
Right. Well, on the bright side, I do got plug God. I do have something to plug.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, on Friday, head on over. VPS game time again. You want to catch the Skyview Storm take on the Bethel Braves. I will be the color guy again. I will tweet out the link at Will Ortner. Got my name right there. It'll be in all lowercase. Head on over to Twitter. And if that thing pops up, make sure you give it a listen. It's a quality crew. It's all high school kids, and they go out and they put on so far the best video production that I've been a part of. Right. It's all high school kids, and they're learning how to edit, how to do videography,
that's cool.
how to direct. It's an incredible program, and I also understand that not everyone can get out to the games or might not want, to deal with, hey, I got to go through the traffic. It's going to rain. It's going to do this. It's going to do that. And it's like, you know what I can do? I can go onto YouTube, or I can go onto channel 328, I believe, and you can just watch the entire game, and it's all run from the high school kids. It's quality production that they put on, and you get to watch some local high school football. So if you get the opportunity, definitely check that out. And then hopefully there'll be more to plug as the postseason rolls on.
Congrats on getting that gig.
Appreciate it. Excited for that one. And then, like I said, hopefully there will be more to plug later on.
Do you want to be like a broadcaster long term, or just kind of?
I kind of feel like, as funny as it is, like it's yes, but I don't think that you necessarily, the way this industry works, you don't necessarily have to limit it to that. Like
Right.
I will like my favorite thing is always going to be being on a show and just talking ball, but also being able to mess around.
Yeah.
Like I like that I can come on here, have my hat backwards, joke about how the weight room doesn't have enough weights on it. Then we can actually go in and break down baseball. We can break down football. And then we can go back to messing around about whatever we want to mess around about, right?
Yeah.
And there's never going to be something that replaces that love for me. But the broadcasting and getting to call games and getting to, use my football knowledge and disseminate that and find a way to have fun while doing that, it's always going to be something that I love doing. So I am excited. I'm happy to be a part of this crew, and hopefully I'll get to keep doing it in the future. So
Right on.
Yeah, man. It's my way of giving back.
Yeah.
Gotta do something. Gotta give back in some way. So either coach or broadcast, or if you're me, do some sort of both.
Yeah. At some point, I mean, I feel like my adult league baseball career is going to come to an end pretty soon, but I want to, definitely volunteer and maybe help with like being a
Right.
baseball coach, pitching coach, something like that. That would be awesome to be able to,
Right.
because I mean, get some guys that have the ability or the potential to go play somewhere, and to be able to like teach them how to learn a new pitch,
Right.
or just any little tips would be amazing to see, and then to
Right.
see them make those changes. Yeah.
Right. Well, and analytically, dude, you'd be fantastic with that on like a baseball call or something, because those baseball games, I mean, obviously they're long, they take a while, and you're pretty smart with understanding the ins and outs on the analytical side that your typical fan like myself might not always understand. So
yeah, I'd probably buy one of those one of those devices to track spin rate and all this stuff, and I would get really into the weeds. Yeah. So
right, man, dude, I think that would be fantastic.
Well, sweet.
All right, man. Thank you for having me on the live stream. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
You doing this tomorrow?
Tomorrow? Oh, for the game? I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a business happy hour I got to be at.
Gotta be at.
The game will be on there.
I see you. But yeah, dude, I'd love to do it again, or maybe we sneak out another quick pod like we did last time or something. But we'll definitely talk about it. But I appreciate it. I got to go run down. I'm here in family with some Halloween.
All right, have a good one, man.
Attire. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right, see ya. All right, thanks to everyone that was tuning in, listening, watching, commenting. Not quite a game tonight. I mean, Rangers put one on the Diamondbacks 10-1 right now in the 7th inning. Game 5 will be tomorrow. It'll be 3-1 Texas likely. So we'll see if the Diamondbacks can make a comeback. But thanks again, everyone, for your support. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.